Hey, what's going on YouTube? These are the new legendary form stats, and as you can see, these 6 are White Kyurem, Resolution form Keldeo, Black Kyurem, and what are now known as the Therian forms of the normal forms or the incarnate forms. The 3 forms that we all know and have been using are known as the incarnate forms now, and the new forms that you see on your screen now are called the Therian forms. So first off, we're going to start off with Tornadus, and for each of these Pokemon, I'm mainly just going to talk about the sets, their abilities, and the new stats, obviously. Looking at the stats, Tornadus has lost 15 points in attack and 15 points in special attack, and as a total of 30 lost in both attack stats, they are moved around. 10 moved into defense, 10 moved into special defense, and 10 moved into speed. This thing does get Regenerator, so it will restore 33% of its HP, which is pretty good because it can switch on into Stealth Rock, take 25%, but because of Regenerator healing 33, you still end up with a recovery of 8%, which is about a leftover's turn. So that's still pretty cool. As far as a moveset goes, I would definitely say a bulk up set is definitely viable because you can use bulk up Roost, which is, a move tutor move, now available in Black 2 and White 2, and being a pure flying type, as far as we know, someone had tested this with Tornadus a while back, it turns into a normal type, so that could be kind of weird, but if it is able to learn Roost, which I'm sure it is, a bulk up set would definitely be good. Bulk up, Roost, probably Brick Break, and Acrobatics. You could even do a special set, but, with its defensive stats, it could be a bulky setup sweeper, which would be pretty cool. But yeah, so that's Tornadus' Therian form, and Thundurus' Therian form. Now, this thing was probably one of the most discussed, mainly for the fact that Thundurus had a huge special attack stat to start with, but now it's going even higher, but at the cost of 10 base stat points in speed and 10 in attack. Not so much of a loss in attack, but the biggest loss here is definitely speed. Those 10 points taken away in each stat pumps 20 into its special attack stat. So going from a 353 maxed out speed all the way down to Landorus, which is 331. So that's a pretty big drop, 22 points. But the first thing that I see with its stats, very similar to Landorus, is how this thing's probably going to be played, and that is definitely going to be choice items. It can still most likely run Nasty Plot, but with its speed being what it is, it's probably not the best idea to boost with this, but a Choice Scarf or a Choice Spec set could definitely be a good option. Volt Switch, Thunder, using it in the rain, Hidden Power Ice, Focus Blast, kind of just replacing Nasty Plot with Volt Switch would, it's still a very, very good set. But this thing gets Volt Absorb, so if it switches in on Stealth Rock, loses 25, it'll gain back that 25 from Volt Absorb, which is very, very good. But moving on to the next one, Landorus' Therian form. Now this thing, same exact thing goes all around with all 3 of the Therian forms. 20 stats taken out and 20 pumped into a certain actually, they're just taken out and they're pumped into different stats. So 10 were taken out of special attack and 10 were taken out of speed. So its speed maxed out now is going to be a little over 306. Special attack doesn't really matter now that it has a base 145 attack stat. Stab Earthquake, gonna do a lot of damage, but once again, I'm sure this thing will be played exactly the same with an Expert Belt, or a choice item, of course. So Choice Scarf, Choice Band, or Expert Belt, very, very good options. And this thing does get Intimidate, so having Intimidate on this, it can switch into those physical threats. With a base 89 and base 90 defense, those defensive stats are actually pretty decent, especially knowing how physically oriented this thing is in the offensive area. But this thing can switch in, hit things, use U-turn, whatever it wants. Definitely going to be a good set on Pokemon. Next is Black Kyurem. Now this thing is obviously a fusion of Kyurem and Zekrom, which is basically all Black Kyurem is a fusion, definitely. its HP it gets from Kyurem, its attack it gets from Zekrom, but it's boosted by 20 points. Its defense is 10 points higher than what Kyurem's was. Its special defense is what Kyurem had, and its special attack is 10 points lower than Kyurem's, or exactly what Zekrom had, and its speed is from Kyurem. So starting off this thing, once again, choice items, definitely going to be effective. And with the move tutors, this thing will, I'm 99% sure it's going to get Ice Punch. I don't know why it wouldn't. Look at those fists. But if this thing got Ice Punch with a 170 base attack, that's huge. Choice Scarf or Choice Banded, one or the other, definitely going to be a good option. This thing also gets Fusion Bolt, so it does get that good electric move, but it still has its Dragon and Ice typing, so that still kind of lets it down. But you know, it's still a huge attacking stat. You know, it's definitely going to be doing a lot of damage. And like I said, it's probably going to use choice items the most, and the fact that it does learn Fusion Bolt, I'm pretty sure it's going to be able to learn Volt Switch, so you can get some switch initiative, maybe or maybe not, that you would want to switch out a lot with its Stealth Rock weakness. Don't know, but that's Black Kyurem. Now moving on to White Kyurem, kind of has the same exact stats, just jumbled around. Same exact HP from Kyurem. Base attack, 10 points. Actually, it is Reshiram's base attack. Its defense, exactly what Kyurem had. And its spec D, what Kyurem had, plus 10. Special attack, definitely from Reshiram, as we all know, but with a boost by 20 points. And its speed, once again, from Kyurem. So this thing is definitely going to be utilizing choice items. And each of the Kyurems in this generation are going to have Turbo Blaze and Turbo Bolt, or no, you know, whatever those ability names were that canceled out the other Pokemon's ability. You know, Mold Breakers, basically, essentially what it is. So this thing will be able to get Fusion Flare, so it will be able to have that fire move in its move pool now, which is awesome. And you know, coming off of a base 170 attack stat, definitely going to be doing a lot of damage. Once again, choice items are going to be this thing's best friend, going to be doing a lot of damage no matter what. Sadly, you know, once again, its ice typing kind of lets it down, but this thing could easily be used on hail teams, using tons of super powerful blizzards, and Fusion Flare for sure, Draco Meteor, all that. And even its attack stat, you know, is really not that bad, so you could run a mix set to take care of like Blissey or Chansey. But the very last one is the Resolution form Keldeo. Now this one I honestly found the weirdest. Of course, you know, looking at the feathers on its head, green, brown, and blue, Virizion, Terrakion, and Cobalion, you need the trio to get this thing. And the reason I find this thing the weirdest is because looking at Keldeo's stats, they are identical to this. So I don't know if this thing gets some type of different move or something, but you know, it obviously looks different, but other than that, I don't really see a huge difference. It could get a special move, I don't really know at this point, but you know, it definitely looks different and could have, you know, just Keldeo on its own, from what people have been using it, definitely has a lot of potential once it is released. And you know, base 129 special attack, definitely going to be able to be used. Same base speed as the trio. So this thing could definitely run a Calm Mindset easily. I believe this thing has Justified, so it will be able to switch in on Stab Dark attacks. And its defensive stats pretty good, 91, 90, and 90. Very good. But yeah, so those are the forms. Those are what I think of their sets. Thank you guys for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think about the new forms stats. Later.